Hello everyone, this is Dan Gramza, and welcome to Gramza Market Studies for Monday, November 9th. Greetings from Istanbul. As I arrived here and I was thinking about what an amazing part of the world this is, so many decisions and things that took place in Istanbul affects all of us till to this day. Things that happened centuries ago. Just an amazing, unique part of the world. And I'm looking forward to the courses here as well. I also hope you had a wonderful weekend. And I guess, when you think about how these stock indexes completed their week, they did it in the right way. Friday, to me, is a big deal. And I've been talking about that previously, but Friday demonstrated what I refer to as resilience. In other words, it took on unemployment, double-digit, 10.2% unemployment. It absorbed that information and then went back up. In other words, the market continues to give us that shift that I feel we've had for months. It started back in March, as you and I have talked about. And I think Friday was just beautiful in terms of that type of action. So we did see these buyers come in as they went into the weekend, a sign of confidence that we haven't seen over the last few weeks. Just look at last Friday, how the market reacted, or this Friday up here, as we found sellers coming in as these buyers just lacked that conviction. Well, here we're seeing the opposite. So I think that's important for us. We are looking for unchanged to higher. In today's action. In other words, we're looking for buyers to continue into these markets. However, they are all these indices are within 10 to 20 points of very critical levels. So the challenge is ahead, and it'll be interesting to see how we approach that challenge this week. Now, let's take a look at those currencies and see what happened there. Not much is the way I would describe it. If you look at the euro and the Swissy, relatively quiet ranges. I think the bias is still to the upside, however. Here's the benchmark candle. We're above the midpoint. I think the bias is up. But if we look at our friend Mr. Yen, that also gave us that push to the upside. It did reach magnitude objective. All these currencies provided that kind of opportunity. And what we're looking for there is we are looking for unchanged to higher. The real big deal is that by Tuesday, we should be closing above this previous high. If we do, that means continuation of trend. The Aussie's gotten stronger. The British pound's kind of hanging in here. Canadian dollar, though, did get weaker. And we talked about that possibility on Friday. And indeed, Friday morning. But indeed, those sellers did come into that market. So it is moving a little more aggressively to the downside than these other markets. So currencies, we need to be cautious. We are looking for an upward movement in these markets, I think, even though we do have loss of momentum. So what does that mean for the dollar? It means that we are looking for a stronger dollar. A weaker dollar in terms of these currencies, if we get these things moving up. I was looking at the Canadian dollar when I said that, because in terms of the Canadian dollar, we're looking for a stronger dollar. We're looking for this to continue down, which implies a stronger dollar. Now, interest rates. Short end of the curve continues to grind away at it. It's behaving properly. No real surprises there. I would want to keep that market in the same boat. These notes in bonds, we were talking about we need to be cautious about these things. And the notes are really fairly directional based on that news we had coming out. The bonds, on the other hand, did pop up here, but doesn't have that same level of conviction. Now, it would have come back through this buy point. From that sell point, that difference, the dollar value of that difference, just so you have an idea, is $750. So what are we looking for here? Well, this implies bullish action. We are looking that this market got low enough to find buyers, and we're looking for follow through. In the metals markets, Gold continues to grind away at it. Silver truly is grinding away at it. We're not seeing that same level of conviction. Not really a great sign of continuation at all in silver. I think next 2 days are going to be very important for that market. Copper also continues to bounce to both sides. I want you to know something. When it went through that 300, that would have created a long position. That would be the concept. Now, it failed. It traded more than 1 penny against it. That would have been a losing trade, but it did reach magnitude objective as it traded through that 296. So a very interesting setup there for copper. Expect more of the same kind of behavior of this back and forth kind of movement. And when we think about energies, well, we see that crude oil indeed did back off. We didn't see that strong conviction going into the weekend. It does imply further weakness, but as we talked about just a few days ago, this 76.50 is a big deal in terms of where buyers came into this market. So what we're going to look for now is we're looking for continued weakness, but it's going to be how it reacts to 76.50 that will give us an idea of what we can expect in the future. Natural gas continues its move to the downside. Again, there's not much to be said here other than the rhythm remains, a little green candle red, just like we saw up here. It continues here right now. So nothing telling us to be a buyer. We would expect further weakness. In the grains, this is now the January contract we're looking at here. That shift really occurred last week, but I just shifted it here in terms of rolling the contract. And what we're looking for is continued weakness in that market as well. What we would not want to see, though, for today is for it to trade back above 970 if somebody's short that market. Corn also getting near critical levels. Again, nothing telling us to be a buyer there. Same thing for wheat. It's knocking on that sell point, and we are looking forward to push through in today's action. Well, this concludes today's market studies. Hope you found a few ideas helpful. Looking forward to being with you again tomorrow. And in the meantime, take care.